8:30 in the morning. And I'm so tired. But David came and woke me up. Because he, of all things, my brother woke me up this morning because he needed black nail polish for his anime cosplay costume. Someone from Bleach. That's all I know. But he's like covered in white paint. And then he painted his nails black. He woke me up like almost an hour ago. I haven't been able to go back to sleep yet. But I think I'm gonna go back to sleep now. Because before I was outside, I was checking to see if my mom was still here or if she had gone back to see Nikki. But then I remembered that the visiting hours don't start till like 11. So I'm gonna try and get some extra sleep before looking into how and who with, etc. for going to visit them and seeing Sagan finally, because I'm getting really impatient. I'm not gonna lie. I have baby here to join me. It's so dark in here. Okay, go back to sleep. So at 1:30, I woke up about half an hour ago from my second nap. I had the weirdest dreams in the world. And I guess they all kind of centered around the whole thing concerning the whole thing that's been going on. But they were weird. Oh shoot. We have to find Lunchables and stuff because we're going to the hospital to visit Sagan. Not yet.
For me. By All Saints' Day, November 1st, I had gained another 5 pounds, and by Christmas, 5 more still. At 5 feet 3, I was now overweight by any standard, and nothing I owned fit, not even my American mother's summer shirt. I had 2 flannel ones, same design but roomier, made to cover up my lumpiness. I told the dressmaker to hurry, and hated myself every minute of the day. More and more, my father's faux pas at Le Havre seemed justified. Those were blurry days of crying myself to sleep and zipping past all mirrors. It may not seem so strange an experience for a 19-year-old, but none of my French girlfriends was going through it. Then, something of a Yuletide miracle occurred, or perhaps I should say Dr. Miracle, who showed up thanks to my mammy. Dr. Meyer had watched me grow up, and he was the kindest gentleman on earth. He assured me that getting back in shape would really be easy and just a matter of a few old French tricks. By Easter, he promised, I'd be almost back to my old self, and certainly by the end of the school year in June, I'd be ready to wear my old bathing suit, the one I'd packed for America. As in a fairy tale, it was going to be our secret. No use boring anyone else with the particulars of our plan, he said. And the way it would go away much faster than it came sounded great to me. Of course, I wanted to put my face in Dr. Mayer, and fortunately, there didn't seem to be many options at the time. For the next 3 weeks, I was to keep a diary of everything I ate. This is a strategy that will sound familiar from some American diet programs, such as Weight Watchers. I was to record not only what and how much, but also when and where. There was no calorie counting, not that I could have done that. The stated purpose was simply for him to gauge the nutritional value of what I was eating. Since nothing more was asked of me, I was only too happy to comply. This is the first thing you should do too. Dr. Mayer demanded no great precision in measurement, just estimate, he said, stipulating a portion as the only unit of quantity and roughly equal to a medium-sized apple. In America, where the greatest enemy of balanced eating is ever bigger portions, I suggest a little more precision. Here's where the small kitchen skill comes in. 3 weeks later, I was home again for the weekend. Just before noon, Dr. Miracle, distingué, Great Temple, made his second house call. He also stayed for lunch. Afterward, reviewing my diary, he immediately identified a pattern utterly obvious to him, but hiding somehow from me, as I blithely recorded every crumb I put in my mouth. On the walk between school and the room I was renting in the 7th arrondissement, there were no fewer than 16 pastry shops. Without my having much noticed, my meals were more and more revolving around pastry. As I was living in Paris, my family could not know this, so when I came home, my mother naturally prepared my favorites, unaware I was eating extra desserts on the sly, even under a roof. My Parisian pastry gluttony was wonderfully diverse. In the morning, there was croissant, or pain au chocolat, or chouquette, or tarte au sucre. Lunch was preceded by a stop at Poilane, the famous bread maker's shop, where I could not resist the pain au raisin, or tarte aux pommes, apple tart, or petit sablé. Next stop was at a café for the ubiquitous jambon beurre, ham on a butter baguette, and what remained of the Poilane pastry with coffee. Dinner always included, and sometimes simply was, an éclair, Paris-Brest, religieuse, or millefeuille, curiously called a Napoleon outside France. Always some form of chewy, buttery sweetness. Sometimes I would even stop off for a palmier, a big puff pastry sugar-covered cookie, for my goûter, afternoon snack. As a student, I was living off things I could eat on the go. Hardly any greens were passing my lips, and my daily serving of fruit was coming from fruit tarts. I was eating and with utter contentment, except of course for how I looked. Now this was obviously not the diet I had picked up in America, where one could hardly say the streets are lined with. Finally, I was a millefeuille junkie. Like an addict, my body came to expect too much of what had once been blissfully intoxicating in small doses. It was time to enter rehab, but fortunately, Dr. Miracle had never heard of cold turkey. The French don't much care for that.
I don't hear him.
He's a quiet baby. Let's move on. Hey.
Hey.
So they had to kick you out, huh? probably thought if the baby had a balloon, that she'd want one of her own.
Oh, yeah, probably. She's starting to feel a little left out. She'll be like, I'll be nursing and she'll be like, I want my mom.
I know. She was like that in the hospital where she had to be hugged and wanted to cuddle with you and she couldn't because the baby was there and Nikki was so sore.
So she was cuddling up with me in the bed for a little while while they were getting him all cleaned up and checked out.
So how was the first night together?
He's more awake during the night than during the day, so I barely got any
It's
sleep.
typical.
Didn't have to have him big enough to walk out of the
When you're up and about and walking around during the day, it kind of rocks them to sleep during the day, and then when you lay down at night, then you're busy.
Well, he latched really well during the day, and he latched really well this morning, but then during the night, he just didn't seem to latch, and he would get really upset, and then I would have to get up and like walk with him or pat him on the back, and he was in the bed with me most of the time because I tried to put him back in the bassinet, and he would cry.
Well, he's getting used to a new place on top of getting used to it in the hospital, too. So, the new smells and everything.
You can go get a closer look.
Go get
She
what?
got the video thing.
You might want to put the grocery bag down.
As I said, you
I
didn't have to have
was
him big.
trying to bring that with me the first time, when I first went up there, but she stole it from me.
Well, it was dead.
You were going to use it and you were going to charge it up.
As I said, you didn't have to have him big enough to walk out of the delivery room.
He's big.
Yeah.
I don't know how
He's tiny in
this
the bed.
thing was emitted from your body.
I know.
Yeah.
Now it's hard to believe Aeon was ever that little, huh?
Yeah, look at the difference. It's 4 years.
Well, when I was born, I was 2 pounds. 1/5 of that.
2 pounds? Seriously?
That's less than
How are
He was
you
a twin.
alive?
He was
Huh?
a twin.
How are you alive?
It's a miracle. Yeah, it is. My brother didn't make it.
Man.
His hair looks so red in the sunlight. Hand feels cold.
What's pictures? So.
I had to send Oren out to get that outfit in the next size.
Uh-huh. You didn't have anything?
We tried the newborn one on. That same outfit in newborn, I had a newborn size onesie, and when we put the newborn one on, I was like, this will fit for a week.
I remember putting on things like that on some of my, I can't remember which babies, but the legs were just too long and they couldn't stretch out all the way. So their legs were kind of like that.
Yeah.
They couldn't
The
stretch
legs
them
aren't
out.
that out very long enough,
How's Aeon doing with him?
she's happy. She definitely wants attention, though. She's feeling the lack of attention.
Yeah.
But she says she loves me.
Yeah, I was holding them earlier and she was like, I don't want you to cuddle, Sagan. I don't want to cuddle.
She's having a hard time adjusting, which is to be expected, but she also is happy.
You see how he looks strawberry blonde?
Yeah, I think my mom's dad's
What was it you were
style,
saying about?
the red undertones.
What?
What were you saying about where he came from or something?
Oh, no, I just said he looks like he's adopted if I didn't know any better. Remember I said that to you? Because you guys are all darker and he's...
Well, in his face and all that, he looks like...
Yeah, I know there's too many incriminating things there.
The thing is, we can't find good orange
Too many things, what?
We can't find orange in his face.
Like I said, if I had to pick my baby out of a lineup, I would pass right by this one. But, I think when he loses some weight, probably start seeing more of the family side.
Now he's this big, being born how big he is when he's 18 or 20.
Yeah,
He's probably going to be tall, given how tall Oren and his brothers are, and David and Alex.
Oh, is this
The
holding
nurse's
me?
word for him was
Does it
sturdy.
sound familiar?
I like that word. He's a sturdy boy.
Yeah, he doesn't look fat. I've seen newborns who look like...
Chubs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, their cheeks are like...
He's got the length to carry that weight.
Mommy got you.
He's an awesome boy.
Definitely blonde.
He's an awesome boy.
Now he's a red-headed, I mean he's
Looks
red-faced right now.
more blonde, but strawberry, not red.
No, I mean the color of his face. He's got,
Yeah, well, that's the way new babies are.
he was a little
Gets
whiter
more
a minute ago,
oxygen
and now
in
he's
him.
gotten redder. Maybe it was from,
When he
Yeah.
starts making faces and all that.
does he recognize you or anything? Or?
Probably. He tends to calm down when I
He knows
hold
the
him.
voice and knows
Well,
the
yeah,
smell.
I didn't know whether he's seeing things that he's making.
He can only see about 8 to 12 inches in front of his face, clearly.
About as far as it takes to get to the breast.
And not up to 8 to 12 inches, but between 8 and 12 inches. Too close is blurry and too far is blurry.
He hears mommy talking.
It's interesting because
He's
that was
probably ready for some milk.
that was the exact distance that I just like instinctively was at when I was holding him. He could see me. I could tell he could because like I would move out of the way and his eyes would follow.
You seen his eyes wide open?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been awake sometimes.
What
Can
color
you
is
get the
his eyes?
boppy for me so I can go sit on the couch?
What color is his eyes?
A little early,
Yeah,
yeah.
blue. All babies are pretty much born with blue eyes,
That's
and
what I
then they
thought, yeah.
get to the color they're going to stay at.